Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Little Likac podcast, episode 83, which I had to double check because I thought, let me just check what number this is. And I looked and I saw my last one was 82 and I went, 82, is that right? And I kind of went back through my content. I went, yeah, no, that was right. So yes, Little Likac podcast, episode 83, which just seems crazy that I've done 83 of these. But I guess I've been going, 3 or 4 years now, so... Anyway, hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and I live in Derby in the United Kingdom. I seem to have a slightly scratchy throat this morning. Never mind, I've brought my bottle of water, so I will have a drink of that as I go through and hopefully I won't get too croaky. Today is a Sunday, the 15th of December 2024, so this will be probably the penultimate actual podcast. But I am gearing up to film quite a lot of videos over the Christmas and New Year period, and thank you if you have been watching the this or that videos to help me prepare for that. So if you are a regular viewer and a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for all your support. It is very, very appreciated. And if you're new to the podcast and this is your first time watching, then you are also very welcome. I hope you enjoy it, and please do consider subscribing to the channel and giving us a thumbs up if you like what you see. Okay, so what have I got for you today? I've got 3 finished objects. Yes. Works in progress that I am working furiously on to try and get Christmas gift knitting finished. So those are the main things that I'm going to show you today. We won't be drawing a winner today for the make along because we did that last podcast, and that has just made me realise, I'm so sorry Lynn, I haven't sent your yarn yet. I will try and get that out in the post this week, and there is no reason for that other than I've just completely forgotten. So I'm very, very sorry, Lynn. I will get that posted to you. I got your email. I will sort that this week and get it posted out in all the Christmas posts. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah. Okay, shall we just crack on with it? Let's do that. So the first finished object, I had actually finished the last time I saw you, but I completely forgot to show you. And that is a hat that I had been making. And I made that hat specifically for a yarn show that I had a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, down in Welwyn Garden City. And this was a cabled hat knitted in DK yarn, my soft sock DK yarn, which yarn base, which is 75% merino and 25% nylon. But it's not just for socks, you can knit anything you like with it really. And I chose to knit a hat, really just to kind of show off the fact that you can knit anything with it. And here it is. I actually really love it. This design, this pattern is the Lake Reed pattern, which is a free hat pattern on Ravelry, and the yarn that I used, the colourway was actually Brabantio. I had been saying on Instagram I think that it's Abbotsea, and it's not, it's Brabantio. So this is DK yarn, and I think I used about 75 grams, something like that, to knit it. And it's got this lovely cable, and then I put a pom-pom on, and yeah, there you go. So there you go. There is a finished object, and I don't know what else to tell you about that. I can't remember what size needles it's knitted on, probably 4mm because it's DK, pretty sure it's 4mm. So yeah, one finished object. And that reminds me, talking about DK, right, I must try to remember at the end of the knitting talk, I will do a little bit of a shop update, including some information about a yarn club that I will be launching for next year. So if you're interested in that, I'll talk about that at the end of the show. That's right, you're watching an amazing TV show. You're watching a knitting podcast. Get a grip, Amanda. But yes, what was I going to say? Oh, and also I will show you Advent update as well, but we'll do that towards the end. Okay, second finished object. Woohoo! It's exciting today, isn't it? This is a Christmas present. That's the word I want. Oh dear, brain fog. This is a Christmas present for my husband, and I have knitted him a pair of socks. This will be sock number 23 for this year. Yeah, and I've still got 2 pairs on the needles that I want to get finished. So my 23rd pair of socks for this year were for my husband, and I finished them last night. I have got the ends still to sew in, so let's just tuck that in. But ta-da! here we go. So the progress keeper there is, I believe, pretty much where I had got up to when you saw these socks 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to take the progress keeper off now so we can look at them properly without that dangling around. Okay. That shows the colour better if I hold them up there. And this orange, it is a reasonably bright sort of ginger. I was thinking kind of like gingerbread type colourway. I mean, to be fair, gingerbread never looks that colour, does it? But we call that kind of colour ginger and gingerbread, don't we? Anyway, the yarn that I've used for this, can you see the sparkle in it? The yarn that I used for this is a West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply, and the sparkly one is the Yuletide colourway. And I used about 60 grams of that, so I've still got 40 grams of that left. And then the orangey gingerbread colour is actually called Amber, and this is West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply again, colourway Amber. And I used just under 20 grams, I think it's about 18 grams of that. So the two together are like this. And in fact, I asked you guys to help me choose which yarn to use for my husband's socks, because I was this one or the Nutcracker colourway, and it was really tight vote. And in the end, I asked my daughters their opinion too, and their votes just swung it in favour of this colourway. But I may well use the Nutcracker one next year for him. So yeah, don't they look fab? I really love these. I have a feeling he knows that he's getting these. He has seen me knitting on them. He has looked at them. A lot of the time he pays no attention to what I'm knitting, but he did seem to keep looking at these. And usually if I see him looking at something, I'll say, oh, do you like these? Therefore so-and-so. And I didn't say a word. So he may have sussed that these are for him. But I'm hoping that he's hoping they're for him. I have got some of those really nice Christmas Christmas like sock bands that I bought from Tilly Flop Designs. So I will fold these up nicely, sew in the ends, fold them up nicely, put one of those wraps around it. I'll try and take a photo of that, and if it's before I edit the podcast, I'll stick a photo in here, and get them wrapped up and under the tree for him. So yeah, I'm really pleased with those. And that will be the third Christmas gift that I've finished and knitted and finished for this year, because I did a pair of socks for my daughter's boyfriend, and I did a cabled chunky red cardigan for my niece's daughter. So this is gift number 3. I'm going to show you gift number 4, which is also finished, and then I've got one more gift knitting to get finished, which I need to get finished before Thursday. I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, so the next finished knitted gift is for my youngest daughter. Oh, just realised it's a similar colour to this. And this is a cardigan that she specifically requested. I might just see if I put this on a hanger whether that works well to show you. Oh, and I'm knocking other things off. Anyway. So you can see that this is kind of a cropped sort of style. My daughter is 19. She has had this cardigan knitted for her twice before. I did it once in a sort of greyish blue colour. I say it's grey, she says it's blue. And I did it once in a dusky pink colour. And so she specifically asked, not necessarily for Christmas, but again, I think she knows that she's getting it for Christmas though. But she did specifically ask for another cardigan, the same pattern, the same style, but in a kind of like a beigey caramel colour. This colourway is actually called Biscotti, and it's 100% acrylic, Emu Classic DK. So it's 100% acrylic, 100 grams is approximately 282 meters. This took literally just over 5 balls. I think I used about 10 grams of the 6th ball. So I'm glad I did buy 6 balls. So yeah, I've just gone slightly into the 6th ball for this. So yeah, so I'm really pleased with how this has come out. I'm hoping she's going to like it. Excuse me. So I've got the hook caught through one of the cables on my jumper. And what I love about this is the detailing. You knit it kind of back to front. So you knit it in stocking stitch, and when you knit it in the round, you're just knitting knit stitches, but then obviously you turn it kind of inside out. But I love this. This is just done with a slip stitch, so not complicated at all, and gives you that kind of nice sort of like seam effect. It's also got it at the back here, just down the back there, which is lovely. You knit it in one piece flat, back and forth, the front and back, and then when you get to the armholes, you then split and knit the back and then knit each front. And it's really clever as well, because I don't want to give too much away because it is a paid for pattern, but this is all, I love the fact then you get this effect through quite a clever way of putting the ball band, the button band on, etc. And you get that same here around the cuff, and again down here at the front as well, between the rib and the stocking stitch section, and again along the side. And I just think those little those little details really help make this cardigan. And again up here. The buttons cost nearly as much as the yarn, because I think the yarn only cost about £10–12, and then the buttons I think were about £8 or £9. So in total this cost about £20 to make. So it was a good buy. And the yarn is just good hard wearing acrylic, and that's all she wants. She wants to be able to throw it in the washing machine if she needs to. She wants to be able to chuck it around. Yeah, so the buttons were Millward's buttons, I think. If I remember. Yes, they were Millward's buttons. And there we go. So that is going to be wrapped up for her and under the Christmas tree, and I know that she's going to love it. She better do anyway. No, that's the good thing, isn't it? She chose the yarn, she chose the pattern, so if she doesn't love it, it's on her. But I have got about 100 grams of that DK weight yarn left. If I get time, probably not before Christmas, but maybe over the Christmas New Year period, or maybe before her birthday actually. Maybe before her birthday I'll knit her one of those Lake Reed hats with the remaining yarn actually. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So yeah, I might do that. But yeah, her birthday's in January, so we won't worry about it till then, because I've got lots of other things to cast on. So those are my finished objects. I do have a half finished object to show you. And that is the last Christmas present that I am knitting. So it's the 14th today, so yeah, but I want to get this finished before Thursday this week, because this is a pair of socks for my other daughter, and she comes home from university on Thursday evening, so I need to have this finished before Thursday. So I've knitted, finished one sock already, and when I podcast 2 weeks ago, I hadn't even cast these on. I think I cast them on that day. And here is the first sock. Oh, that is blowing out, which is not surprising because it is very bright yarn. So here is the first sock, and yeah, I think the colourway for this is called something like Pop, maybe Pep. Let's have a look. Pep, actually. And this yarn is from Knitology by Knit Crate. Things blowing out. I've not got any lights on, it's just the windows. So Knitology Block Sock by Knit Crate, which is 80% merino, 20% nylon. It is machine washable. Yeah, so I was really pleased with how this knitted up. Loved the fact that I could get, because I haven't used a contrast yarn, just the way the colours worked meant I had pink for the rib at the start and pink for the heel flap, and just a tiny bit of pink on the toe. And I was really pleased with how that had worked. However, the second sock, the width of the stripes is nowhere near the same, and so the second sock is not going to match. Now, I don't think that's going to bother my daughter. In fact, I'm 90% sure it won't bother her, which is good because it would bother me. And I'm glad that I am not making these for me, because it is really bugging me that the stripes don't match. Now, I thought that the pink might not anyway, because I had used a little bit of the pink on the end here. So I was thinking, well, maybe on the second sock the pink won't go down here, but it will at least do all the rib. No, not even close, not even close. So even if I hadn't used the pink at the very end of that toe, there's no way the pink would have gone down anywhere near as far. So look how unmatching these are going to be. So because we're already going into the pink and we're nowhere near the heel flap. But as I say, I don't think my daughter will care, because I just think she'll love them anyway. So what colour are we likely to? We're going to have a yellow or blue heel flap on this one, I think. But I really don't think she'll mind. So I am this far on the second sock. I will put the progress. Ooh, this progress keeper is catching. That's not good. Right, I will put maybe a different progress keeper on, because this one seems to be catching. So maybe we'll put this one on. Although, to be fair, the next time I podcast, this will already be finished and gifted. But anyway, I'll put a progress keeper on just for my own sake. So yeah, this needs to be finished by Thursday. It is Sunday, so I think this will be what I knit on most over the next few days. I hopefully will get the leg finished today. That's Sunday. Get heel flap. Might even get the heel flap done today, and then gusset tomorrow, which is Monday, which gets me Tuesday, Wednesday to get the foot and toe done. There's going to be a lot of serious knitting on this, and but to be fair, there's not much else now with sort of like deadlines, she says. But yeah, we need to get that finished. Just trying to think if there's any other time. No, I can't work on it on the Saturday afternoon when we're at the theatre, because she'll be with us then. So, but she is out Saturday night, so if I don't get it quite finished, if I'm left with just a bit of the foot and toe to do on Saturday night while she's out, okay, that gives me a bit more time. So we will aim to get most of it finished before Thursday. So yes, that's what there is to tell you about that one. She will love it. So my older daughter is 22. How did that happen? And yeah, she's coming home from uni this week. Yay! Younger daughter isn't back until next Sunday. And I finish work on Friday. So this time next week, hopefully we'll all be together and have a few days together before the madness of Christmas Day. Although we're having a quiet Christmas, it is just going to be the four of us at home, which will be nice actually, less stressful. But what is there next to show you? Okay, what else have I been working on? So the other thing I would really like to get finished before the end of this year, and ideally before Christmas Eve, because Christmas Eve I will start my crazy 12 cast-ons of Christmas, where I cast on a new project every day between the 24th of December and I think it's actually the 4th of January. So because I've been desperately trying to, I want to get to the end of the year and say I've used more stash than I've bought, and at the moment we're not quite there, although that cardigan does help. But if I get this blanket finished before the 31st of December, this will mean I can definitely say that I have used more yarn, or I have taken more yarn out of my stash then I have put in. So this blanket, I finished all the squares. I think last time you saw it, I was on the final square. And the final square is going to be the middle square of this blanket, because this blanket is going to be 9 blocks in total. So that was the final square. So that's the final square. And you can see I have sewn together three here, and I have sewn together these 3. And so I've got 3 more to sew together in a strip, and then I've got the 2 strips to sew together, and then I've got about something like 70 grams of the cream left, and I really don't know what to do about a border. I think all I'm going to do is literally just crochet around the edges with that cream and hope that I've got enough to get all the way round, and then that's it. I'm calling it done. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's been a really nice blanket to work on, to use up a lot of scraps and minis and leftovers, some of which I'd been gifted as well as part of an advent. It's been lovely to use those up. I've held 4-ply double. The pattern is called Logalicious by Louise Tilbrook. I just don't think it's a blanket I'm going to put somewhere on display, particularly like downstairs, but I think it could be one that's upstairs in our bedroom, and like if we have really cold snap, or sometimes our boiler is very old, and sometimes our heating doesn't always work brilliantly well. It could just be a blanket to grab to put over the bed if it's a particularly cold night or something like that. So I don't think it's going to be a blanket that's going to get masses of use. But my husband does quite like it though, so he might be quite happy, like I say, to have it sort of like up in the bedroom and throw it over the bed if we get cold. So if I can get this blanket finished, it will have used about approximately, well, nearly 5,000 metres, something like 4,700 metres, and that will definitely put me into a situation where I can say I have had more yarn come out of my stash than in. And next year I need to try harder. The biggest issue was I bought 5,000 metres of yarn in the summer on a load of Sirdar Snuggly 4-ply and DK that I really didn't need, and I just bought it because Sirdar kept sending me emails telling me what a bargain was, and it was a bargain, but it was 5,000 metres of baby yarn, and I've used maybe about 200 metres of it. No, maybe a bit more than that, not a lot. So yeah, there could be some baby blankets being made next year, holding the yarn double on that, making some baby blankets out of that Sirdar Snuggly. Right. Then the other thing that I have been working on, and again I would like to get this finished before the 31st of December, and I don't think it will get done before I start the 12 cast-ons, so it may be that this is still something that I work on a little bit each day. And that is my last pair of socks for the year, and this will be the last pair of socks for the year. This is the Socksy and You Know It make along that I've been doing. They might get finished before Christmas Eve. They might. So the yarn I'm using for this was gifted to me by Nancy, and she is Laying Cable Yarns, and she had called this Merry and Bright Speckles, 75% merino, 25% nylon, self-striping yarn, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Nancy. So I had forgotten as well that I'd started these, literally just done, I think, the rib and then sort of put them to one side. And then I was thinking the other day, I was like, right, okay, I've nearly got husband's socks done, got Eddie's pair of socks to do, Amelia's cardigan. Oh, and that's it. And then I've done with all the kind of deadline knitting, just work on the blanket. Oh, what other whip shall I get out to work? And then I was like, oh no, the December socks. So I've been knitting on these sort of like for half an hour in the morning, first thing in the morning, which I might just continue doing while I'm finishing off Eloise's socks as well. But yeah, these might get finished before Christmas Eve. Maybe as well if I do a slightly shorter leg, if I do 5 inches rather than 6 inches, in which case I'm almost on the leg here already. So yeah, I might do a 5-inch leg rather than a 6-inch leg, just to again just speed it up a tiny bit. I'm knitting these on 2.5mm needles, 60 stitches as well, which also speeds them up a little bit. And obviously no pattern, just knit, and yeah. These will go to the theatre with me as well on Saturday afternoon. We're going to see The Three Musketeers. We're taking well, it should have been my mother and father-in-law going, but unfortunately my father-in-law isn't terribly well at the moment. So Ellie, eldest daughter, is coming instead and taking my mother-in-law. So yes, we're going to the theatre to see The Three Musketeers, and yeah, hopefully my mother-in-law will still enjoy it anyway. So I will take those with me then. I'll knit them in the car. So yeah, you never know, they could get done by Christmas Eve, or very nearly. And then Christmas Eve though, I will be casting on the first of the 12 cast-ons. So if you have voted on any of the videos, the this or that videos, thank you very much. I have made a note of what's won for most of them. There's been a fairly clear winner on most of them. I haven't counted up the votes yet on the last one, which were the 2 colourwork hats. And thank you very much for the viewer who told me it's pronounced Rothsay rather than Rothsay, so that was actually really helpful. So the Rothsay tam or the Shetland Tory. So my Scottish pronunciation is not very good. So that one, I will kind of not be counting up the votes for that for another couple of days, but I will be counting the votes for all of them, so that I can actually make sure I've got all the needles that I need, so that I'm not stuck. I'm not going to come to a project on one morning and go, oh, I can't cast this on because I haven't got the right needles. Especially the ones that I'll be casting on things like Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, where it's going to be hard to get to any shops to buy any needles. So yes, that's going to start on the 24th of December, which I'm excited about. Thank you so much for everybody who has been voting on those. I think that is it for kind of what I've been working on for the last few weeks, what I'm going to be working on. I would love to give you a little bit of a shop update. I have updated the shop with some new yarns that have gone in. They were yarns that I had dyed for the Woolen Garden City, and I hadn't put them into the Etsy shop. So the Etsy shop, there's still some more to add as well actually. I'm not quite sure when they will get added in, but yeah, so just keep an eye open on the shop. If you favorited my Etsy shop, that means anything anytime I add anything new, it will send you an alert, I think, or when you open Etsy it will say Little Likac has updated a shop or whatever. So thank you for those of you who have bought anything from me this year. I really appreciate your support. It's only a small business, but each year it grows a little bit more, which is lovely. And next year I am planning on doing a mystery yarn club again. Now I did do this for 2 years. The first year I did a Shakespeare themed one. Didn't really know what I was doing as well. I'd only just started dyeing yarn, and no, I didn't do a Shakespeare themed one. My first year I didn't do a yarn club, but I did do some Shakespeare themed yarns. So my second year, which was the first year of the yarn club, I did a fairy tale yarn club, and then I did a Gothic, Victorian Gothic one, which wasn't as popular, if I'm totally honest. But then equally, I think as well, that year, with various things that were happening, that was when I started exam marking again, and it was a very busy year work-wise, so I didn't have as much time to promote it, perhaps. So last year I didn't do a mystery club, but next year I am. And it is going to be on the theme of Agatha Christie mystery. Let me say that again. It's going to be on the theme of Agatha Christie mysteries, specifically the Hercule Poirot mysteries for next year. And if that goes well, then maybe there will be a Miss Marple one later at another time. So the options are going to be, I'm going to offer a full 100 gram skein or 3 minis. Now the reason I'm going to say 3 minis is I don't really know why. Why I picked 3. 5 minis is actually quite hard to do sometimes, to do every month, and I may run out of colours and ideas, and also price wise 5 minis is going to be just as expensive, if not slightly more, because minis are a bit more fiddly than 100 grams. So I thought actually if I did 3 minis it's just going to be a slightly cheaper option. And also if you wanted to save them, you could save them up and make yourself an advent from them. You know, if we do 3, you're going to end up with what, 36 minis altogether by the end of the year anyway, if you've got all 3. But certainly if you decided that for whatever reason you couldn't afford to get it every month, you would be able to build up so a set of 24 to use as an advent if you wanted later in the year. Or so yeah, and also 3 as well, I think as well I can get packaging to put those into like a little box that will go through the letterbox, which will keep postage down on them. Yeah, there just seem to be quite a few reasons really that 3 skeins might be a nice option rather than 5. So yeah, and also if you're trying to do a blanket with it, it might be more manageable to try and knit or crochet 3 skeins in a month rather than 5 mini skeins. So yeah, so for all those reasons I just thought 3 might be a better number. The 100 gram skeins there will not be a mini option with that. It just gets very complicated, and like I said, I do work full time, I have a full-time job, it's a very busy job, and I thought I want to give you guys options, but I also have to limit the amount of options. Now the other option though, and this is new for this year, is there will be a DK option. So again, DK 100 grams or 3 DK 20 gram minis. I'm not going to do any other options than that though. I'm not going to do sparkle base, yak base, etc. because again, I've got to keep it relatively simple for me. So there will be an option for DK minis, DK 100 grams or 4-ply minis, 4-ply 100 grams. They will be separate listings. The Mini Skein Club will be a separate listing on Etsy. The 100 gram Skein Club will be a separate listing on Etsy. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the first one is going to be, this is also something I'm going to do slightly different. I'm actually going to put up a picture of the kind of colour inspiration for each month in advance, whereas before I never did that. I just said it's fairy tales or it's gothic fiction and gave you no clues. But this year I will put up in advance. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I suggest going over to my Instagram account and following me on there as well, because that is in particular where I will put up the picture. So the first one for January is called The Mysterious Affair at Styles, and that's because that is the first Agatha Christie novel, and it is a Hercule Poirot novel. So I will just put the picture up here so you can see. I loved the design of this book cover, and so that is going to give me some of the colourway ideas for the minis and for the main 100 gram skein. So of course if you buy both and order them at the same time, that will combine the postage on them as well. If you've got any questions, please ask away. I haven't quite put everything together yet, so that's why I don't want to say what the prices will be, etc. But I will be putting out the information about it and put the Etsy listing up this coming week. So yeah, you just have to bear with me a little bit on the dates. It will probably be something along the lines of that you need to have signed up by the end of the first week of January, probably like the 5th of January, something like that. And then yeah, then the colours will be posted during January. Okay, that's the plan. Hope that sounds good. I'm excited about it, and who knows, maybe we can have a bit of a read along. I did read the Mysterious Affair at Styles. I did read that earlier in the year. I have got a list of the 12 books that I want to cover for the 12 months, so I think I'll be adding those onto my reading list and be reading them as we go as well. Right, okay, Advent advent calendar. Would you like to see my advent calendars for this year? So the little Likac advent calendars this year were just purely based around the colour purple. Oh. So here is packet number 15. I didn't bring down with me the little slip that says what colourway it is, what the name of the colourway it is. What the name of the colourway is, I will put something down here that says. But here is number 15. Oh no, I think this is Lavender House because I remember putting the clock with the Lavender House. So if you've got the luxury or the sparkle base, you get stitch markers as well. The plain standard sock base didn't get stitch markers, I'm afraid, this year. I had to find some ways of keeping costs down for things and to try, so that's why the sock base, the 75/25 soft sock, was more a cheaper price. This one is the luxury, which is 85% merino, 15% nylon. And yeah, so this one is Lavender House. So it is purples with just a little bit of grey blue in it. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. Would you like to see all 15 so far that we've got? Okay, are we ready for this? This is the first 1 to 15 of the little Likac advent calendar for 2024. There we go. So, I don't know what I'm knitting with this myself. I know Mandy from Mouse Witch Yarns is talking about doing an anthology throw with it, which I think will look stunning. I just don't know what to do with this. I can't decide whether to do a blanket or whether to do a jumper of some sort, a garment of some sort. I'm not going to do a shawl, but yeah, I can't decide for myself. And then also I have got, because it's mine, I have got the 4-week 100 gram advent calendar as well, which is you open one every Sunday. So today is the 3rd Sunday, so I've opened the 3rd one. And so this was number 1. This was number 2. And here is today's number 3. And this, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a Storm Seeker by Kelly Menzies. Fairly sure that's what I'm going to make with this. I've got mine in the sparkle base. And I love it. And I know I'm biased because I love purple and it is my advent calendar. And you know what, that was the thing this year. I just was in past advents I've kind of gone, right, what will other people like, what will people want? And this year I was kind of like, I'm dyeing this for me. Purple is my favourite colour. I am dyeing a purple advent calendar. If other people like the idea of a purple advent calendar, then hopefully they will like this. But I very much went with, this is what I love. And I know what's coming next week. You can probably guess what's coming next week as well. So I'm very excited about that because that is going to make, I think, a fabulous fade sweater. And I think, lovely people, oh no, I was going to say that's it for me. Not quite. I had the flyers come through this week for the Northwest Winter Wool Festival, which I am going to be exhibiting at. I am so excited about this. This is being organised by the lovely Shirley from Under an English Sky. She's a beautiful dyer, dyes her colourways and colour palette. I feel we have kind of a similar vibe, so I love her yarns as well. And oh, there's a squirrel watching me up in the trees. So yes, we've had the flyers come through for that, so any orders that I get, I'll be sending these flyers out with it. So that's the 15th and 16th of February next year at the Imperial Hotel on the North Promenade in Blackpool. Entries for that is £6 for one day or £8 for both days, which I think is a real bargain because Yarndale was like £15 each day. It was like £30 for a weekend ticket to Yarndale. We're talking £8 here, or you can get a VIP ticket for £20, which includes a cream tea. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? So that's happening in Blackpool, 15th and 16th of February, which I think, which I'm really excited about. It's a brand new yarn show, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be fabulous. It's at a hotel, and yeah, that's going to be great. I think that is it from me now though. Thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please look out for the 12 cast on of Christmas videos that will start on the 24th of December. I might even do a little, I might on the 23rd release one as well, where I go through the 12 cast-ons that I did last year and the updates on those, what got finished, what didn't get finished. If I get a chance, I'll do that as well, so look out for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Honestly, every like, every comment, every person who subscribes just helps support the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.